Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries again today. Glad you could join me. Didn't want to clickbait you today, but had kind of I don't know, I'm in a rough and tumble mood. So I don't want us, per the preview, to be bopping around town talking about Sean being in drag. I'm going to give you the lowdown on a very, very weird scene in LA that I was kind of a part of, but not really at all. Now, I have to preface this by saying that anything I regard as weird, whoa, unusual, what the F, this is no commentary on the trans communities. This is the impressions of a young guy who'd been around the block 4,000 times and just thought it was an unusual, weird scene. So, no offense to anyone. Now, let's dive in. We are not bopping around town with Sean in drag. This is the show now. This was a place called the Queen Mary. It was a nightclub, performance nightclub with a bar in the rear. This place had been around in Studio City since I think 1960 or 1961. They had the same MC working there for good Christ since they started. Now, as an aside, this is a drag performance club that I auditioned for. I mentioned that in another show when I was desperate in 1989. I went and did a routine as Anne Margaret, choreographed by Barbara Sharma, Bob Fosse's lead dancer in Sweet Charity, and the boyfriend. I digress. So anyway, that's the front end, bachelorette parties and drag queens, whatever. But there was a back room, a back bar. Now, nobody that patronized that club at all as an audience member either knew about the back room or were inclined to go into the back bar. The back bar was it wasn't a wild scene, although it was very tense and sweaty and crowded. There was nothing like Club Kitty or like anything in that regard remarkable whatsoever. But the clientele and the surroundings were noteworthy for y'all because you're never going to hear this. So in this back bar, it was another world. In other words, it felt entirely separate from the front drag club, which was lucrative, decades, bachelorette parties, all that kind of thing. Literally, like more straights than gays in the audience, and very good drag queens, by the way. So this scene, so to speak, again, no offenses, in this back bar room was very specifically dedicated to one milieu of customer. And it was halvesies. So, essentially 50-50 split. You had the folks that were interested in pursuing, and you had the folks that were interested in being pursued. Now, the folks that were there to be or were interested in being pursued were almost entirely trans folks or drag queens. Now, of course, I'll do a whole show on the differentiation, not that y'all need schooling on that, but there is a milieu of folks that are drag queens that don't identify as trans, but like to engage in activities in drag. Then there are the trans communities, which are entirely different.